Hey everybody, welcome back to Z3 Programming. Today we're going to be going over LINQ. LINQ is Language Integrated Query. If you're familiar with any of the query languages like SQL or MySQL, the syntax will be very familiar for you. LINQ has a basic structure, a data source, a query, and then you execute that query. A query can be a list, array, a data table. Many other things can be the actual data source. So for this first example, I'm going to create a numbers array, and I'm just going to enter in some numbers within this array. And this is going to be the data source. So now I'm going to set up the query. I'm going to create a variable called number query equals from in numbers. Numbers is the data source. Where n is greater than 5, select n. Now we're going to execute the query. I typed out a for each loop, var num in number query. I'm just going to write out num. So for each num in number query, it's going to print out each value. Let's take a look. As we can see, it printed out each number that is greater than 5, which is what we declared in the variable in the LINQ statement number query. I'm going to clear all this information from our first example so we can create another example. In the second example, I'm going to create a customer class with the properties customer name, state, and occupation. This is going to be part of our data source, but first what I want to do is create a list, and it's going to be a list that takes in that customer class as an object. I'm going to call the customer list. Now for our data source, I'm going to add some customers to this customer list. The first customer I'm going to put in here is going to be Eric Thomas. To speed this part up, I'm just going to copy and paste. I'm going to change the customer names and property information to The Rock, LeBron James, Justin Bieber, and Dwayne Carter. Now I'm going to write out the query. I have a variable customer query equals from C in customer list, where C dot state equals California. I need to update that equals. Select C. Now we're going to execute this query. I'm going to do a for each loop for each cust and customer query. I'm going to print out a statement. The statement is going to print out and say customer name lives in customer state and their occupation is customer occupation. When we run this, we can see that it says The Rock lives in California and their occupation is an actor. LeBron lives in California and his occupation is an athlete. And Justin Bieber lives in California and he is a bad singer. For the last example, I'm just going to show you guys how to use some of the LINQ methods. So I'm going to create another numbers array. I'm going to put some random numbers in. Now for the queries, I'm going to create a variable called count query, which will equal numbers.count. I will create a max query, and that will equal numbers.max. I will create a first query, which will equal numbers.first. I will create a last query, which will equal numbers.last. And I will create a sum query, which will equal numbers.sum. Now, what do you think these methods will accomplish? I will print them out and we will see. It's very self-explanatory. So the LINQ methods that we just called on that numbers array, they all printed out. Pretty self-explanatory. Here are some methods that you can use within the LINQ syntax as well. Alright guys, that's it for today's episode on LINQ. If you enjoyed the episode, if it was helpful, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, leave a like. See you guys next time.